Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Discussed this already.
Gentlemen, you guys are live.
I swear to God.
It's not true.
Good morning
You're
and
wrong.
welcome to Unwanted Opinions.
Stop.
I'm your host, Justin. Joined here by Buffalo Matt.
I swear to
co-host
God.
Bison Matt.
Bison Matt.
Bison Matt.
Hey, he's got a beard.
Fact checker, Jesse James. Executive producer,
Fact checker.
Dave Miller.
Bison.
Swear to God.
We're happy to be here.
I'm going to check my own facts.
We haven't even told anyone we were back this week. We did no promo. It's summer. You can tell it's summer.
You know where to be.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I was asked to try to help someone find some board members for a board here in town, and I asked for some of the parameters, and they said, "Oh yeah, we do month-to-month meetings, and every other month in the summer months." And I was like, "Very smart," because
Yeah.
it is definitely hard to rein people in during the summer months. Like, I didn't ever think we were Florida was like a summer-centric type state. Like, you see like people.
Yeah,
in
the
other
Sunshine
states-
State being summer-centric to me is just so far off base. I never would have thought that either, especially considering we're surrounded by all three sides by ocean.
I mean specifically those months.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see people in like New York, like, oh, we're going up to the, Adirondacks or something like that.
Because like, what do you do in New
Hamptons.
York in the middle of summer? Like, just
Right, like,
die
but-
in the
but, like,
streets of the heat?
They
Like,
specifically go do things where like Florida, it's summer for us all year round. So I just
that's because we live in a vacation state.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So to me, I didn't think that it was so specifically centered around summer. And then this year, I'm like, oh no, there's so many people taking off and doing things, and like, I don't know.
Do you feel bad for the heat wave that's hitting the rest of the nation?
I didn't even know until yesterday.
I struggle with that
I don't
because it's
care.
just like, well, part of me is just like, okay, y'all are gonna have triple digits, like that's literally all year.
Right.
Why don't we get any sympathy from the national news media? Like it's insane. Like, so what? You're gonna have a 110-degree day one day.
I remember taking a trip to Ohio when I was young, like
Yeah.
9, and we were watching the weather early with my little cousins, and they're like, "Oh, there's a heat warning. It's going to be like 92 degrees with 45% humidity."
You mean
like,
January?
Yeah. I was like, like our heat warning is drink water.
Yeah, right. It goes. Yeah, you guys, you know the routine. Make sure that AC is set to 82 or whatever they're telling me right now. Take a long walk off a short pier with that nonsense.
Right. Listen, I bought. You'll see it. I'm put up on my stories.
Portable AC unit?
No, I bought a little like wattage and usage reader for each one of my outlets that I'm going to plug in and plug my appliances in. I'm going to figure out what's causing me to have such a high electricity bill, other than them doubling our freaking rates. And
No correlation to the lawsuit.
your boy's going to be like straight up dad mode, like, did you turn that light off? Like, I've
Yeah.
always been that way anyway.
Go LEDs though too, like way less wattage.
Yeah. I got all that, but like, I got to figure out what's like. Is the Xbox just being plugged in? Is that doing?
I
it?
think
Like,
I think the gaming system is part, because like I got the PS5 and I really do think so, because it's like the whole home entertainment system's like in one surge protector that goes in the wall, and I'm like, I guarantee you between like TV sound system, router, PS5, like whatever else, like something's drawing power even though it's off.
Right.
It's just leeching it.
They're all going on switches, and I'm shutting them all
But
off.
they make switches that you put in the wall, and then like you just turn that off, and it turns like everything off that's plugged into it.
Buddy, I'm gonna hit that breaker.
Yeah.
I'm tired of paying.
I called
These
Ocala
insane
Electric
rates.
once when I was in like I don't know if it was the studio or the one-bedroom apartment.
Give me their number. I'm gonna call them again.
And, no, but like my
Tell them I
power
don't
bill
like
was
them.
like steady all this one, and all of a sudden I get a power bill that was like $450. Like my power bill was
you were
normally
saving money.
No, this was like a couple hundred square foot apartment, and it was usually like $150. And I call them up and I'm like, something's wrong. They're like, literally nothing has changed. I mean, you hit me with this, something's wrong. And they're like, you can pay for an independent audit. And I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, you can have someone come out and like check your ducts and your insulation. And I'm like, no, like there's literally nothing that I've done that would cause it to over double.
So what was it?
No, I don't know, because they were no help, and I certainly wasn't paying some private auditor to come out and do
What was
this.
the point of that story?
I'm just
I
saying-
thought you were about to be like, yeah, then I found this and I turned it
What
off
I'm-
and it saved me money.
No, it eventually went back down, but there was like that one spike. I feel like they were just jacking the rates up on
The
me.
biggest thing I've ever done to save was I put a timer on my electric hot water heater. so that and the hours while you're asleep, it's not heating up, and then it turns on like an hour before you wake up.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
I have a
20%
Dang.
savings.
I have a gas water heater.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife tricked me, okay? When we got together, I was like, man, this girl is so good at saving money. She would shut
Everything
her water
was gas.
heater. No, she would shut her
Oh.
water heater off and all this stuff. Well, long story short, love you, Jenny. But basically, she was saving money so she could spend money. Like,
Hey, save money, spend money.
right? She did all the things to save the money, and I was that's super impressive. And then I realized that, like, yeah, it still goes back out.
What else would you be saving money for?
Just a rainy day, whatever that means.
Basically every day in Florida.
Yeah,
That's what she was doing, saving money for a rainy day.
she's doing it for every day.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's profound.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. No, let me know how your audit goes. Find out what's your power draw. You do all of the hard work,
Well,
and then I will just if I have one of those things in my home, I'll be like, yeah, I'll put a timer on that too.
I already started doing the math on all the LED lights because I was like, we have these 2 outside lights that my wife bought that she was like, well, I'm just going to get like light sensor lights
Yeah.
that come on and just stay on the entire time it's dark. And so I was like, you need to send me the link for those lights because I let it go for a while. Like, I don't care. All right, you know what? They're
I need the
LEDs.
tech sheet.
But then, and we've had them for like a couple months now. But after these bills, I'm telling you, I'm like, send me the link that you bought because I need to know the wattage. And then I'm like, all right, 9 watts times 2 times like
Lauren
10
bought-
hours a night.
She got bulbs. I'll send you a link of the box. I think I might still have one. The bulb has the bulb has a sensor in it, a motion sensor built into it. It's an LED light. I'm like, where did you get this black magic?
Yeah.
I put them in the sconces outside, so it's like I walk out to take the trash out. The 2 lights turn on, and as I'm walking back, they just turn off. So it's like you literally just plug them in. That was one of those times where I'm like, this is just a light bulb. And that's how I know I'm getting old because I'm getting so excited. But I mean, like the technology in like this $3 light bulb is insane. Like I don't even know how it works. I'm like, you got lasers in there or something?
Right.
But that's because like I used
That's
to.
what it is.
Well,
That's
it was the
definitely
same thing. We used to have lights on all the dang time out front,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
wasn't about that.
Let me look into those because I'm doing the math on everything. But some of it, I'm like, I don't know if I believe this.
LED
I don't know if
lights.
the draw. Well, no, the LED lights I'm fine with. But
Okay.
like I said, it's the things like the gaming systems and all of that I want to see what the draw is when it's sitting idle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the reader was like $14. I'm like, if I can save $14 in 1 month,
You've saved nothing
yeah. Well, no,
because you spent it on the reader.
right.
So
But
you got to
then
save $15.
No, that's 1 month. That means
Okay.
next month I'm good.
Okay.
Then it's all free money, my man.
Yeah.
My own money that I'm just not paying out in excess.
There you go. Well, if you just listen to their AC restrictions,
Yeah.
like they laid it out for you on how to save money. Put it to 82 while you sleep.
I'm just so stupid.
I thought that was.
Just sleep outside.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like,
it
you're
gets
gonna do
cooler.
that.
Like you'll at least get a breeze.
Will you?
Maybe.
Yeah. Some of these nights when the humidity drops, though, it has been quite pleasant, though. There's been a couple nights which I'm like, it seems stupid hot and hotter than I ever remember it, but I think that every year.
Yeah.
But
I
then
don't
there's
feel
been
that
some
way.
nights where like it is like at dusk and the humidity's not there and like there's a nice breeze and I'm like, this is actually quite decent for a summer
I don't
night.
feel that way. I felt like, when we had people over a couple weeks ago, it was like, oh, this is not bad to be outside.
Yeah.
Towards the nighttime. Last night we went for a walk, and I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. But then
Because yesterday was the day that I was like, oh, is the rest of the country like dealing with a heat wave?
yeah. Apparently they are.
I've been out of the. I'm
Suck
back
it
out of
up,
the news
buttercups.
game. Back out of the news game, loving life.
Yeah, you can't watch news regularly and have like be sane, I think,
And if
or
you-
be in a good positive mindset because it's trash out there.
Right.
Like life has been trash. You just every time I'm like, is this the Onion? Is this? Are we really going back to? Are we really like? It's just constantly surprising and it's terrible. So
And if you post on social media, polarizing news all the time, I also don't see your stuff either. So
Yeah.
it's really
that's a one-way ticket to Hyde Town.
yeah, it's really great. But then things happen like this where I'm like, oh,
Performative. It's performative something.
it's something.
I
I don't
don't
know. I don't know how people just stress themselves out all the time by every single little detail and topic. Like you just can't care enough. You know, there's like a.
It's like COVID. It's like care fatigue. You're like, I cared about this, and then like they kept dogpiling it on, and now you get to the point where you're just like, you throw your hands up and you're just like, F it.
Yeah. Even the
Whatever.
people with some of the most concern in our office, it's been interesting to see that like, got COVID again. Like, sorry, I don't know. It's just like, I think.
You mean a head cold?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Is it to that level yet?
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. Weird. That's a weird one.
It is. Yeah, it's a weird topic of conversation. Yeah. What do I feel when the mics aren't on?
Okay.
Versus-
Just put your hand over it like this and say
Yeah.
off the record, and then just
Oh,
whisper,
there you go.
yell it into my ear. That's
It's
how it works.
endemic now. I think people just, and like you said, I think it's care fatigue. I think we've just hit that point. But I mean, it's just that way with anything anyway. There's that, it's like the Dunbar's number where they like studied the brain size and like the group of people that you care about. I think we've talked about it on there here before, where you have like 10 to 15 close people, 150 like acquaintances, or, then like 1,000. It's like, you can only care so much about so many topics before you just like, what are you doing worrying about it if you're not doing anything about it? That's not to say that you shouldn't raise awareness and things, but it's just like, okay, you're stressed about
It's
everything.
a thin line.
Yeah, or like, can you believe this person said this? I've talked about this so many times. Like, you find some random person that says something that's just outlandish, and you're like, can you believe this? Like, yes, I can. Move on. Don't give them any, time.
That's all
of
we
the
do
day.
is say outlandish things.
Right.
Can you believe you said that?
Like,
It's
there's some
outlandish.
things- Some things. when I
I'm
say
going to
it,
go to Facebook later and rant.
You should.
Yeah.
I will.
You should.
I'll forget.
So,
But
95 colleges in the last 4 years have, there's been 95 mergers of colleges in the last 4 years. 21% more than the last 18 years combined, or the prior 18 years to that.
are these like big colleges or like little regional colleges?
I don't think any of them would be considered big colleges.
Okay.
I mean, mergers and acquisitions are, an acquisition, you're going to have a bigger college take a smaller college. But a lot of them is just regional type, junior college. But it's,
What's the point?
well, it just shows you how freaking corporate
Colleges are?
education is, higher education is now.
Hey, if anyone who's ever bought a university level textbook will tell you that. Especially when you get the teacher that wrote the textbook that makes you buy the new version each year because they added 2 pages to it. Or a new introduction, a new foreword.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a $300. That's like a racket right there. I don't know why. Like, I've bought books from Barnes & Nobles before, and none of them ever cost $300.
Right.
You go to university, and all of a sudden, that's like the norm, and you're just like, geez.
I think
But they know you got that federal loan
that
money.
makes sense to me for medical school, or maybe even law school, where things are changing all the time. Or if you're doing a good job of keeping up with it, that's fine. You're paying someone for their effort to go in there and keep up and keep you abreast of things.
So why wouldn't you be able to buy like the 6th edition book, which is from last year, and then just buy the 7th edition like add-on separately? You know, like, because like sometimes that's not the case. Like you just have to buy like the whole thing over again instead of just getting.
Yeah, I'm full agreement there with you, but I'm just saying, there's a small area where I go, this is worthwhile. You're paying someone to go out there and really do the work. But mostly speaking, like ENC 1101, that hasn't changed in 30, 40, 60 years. Like, no, that book shouldn't be $240. Yeah. And even still, like, I took a marketing class from a separate university, not CF. And I was like, oh, I'm going to, really try to expand my knowledge here. And I take this class, and I buy this book, and it's all very expensive. The book's completely outdated because it's, marketing, and marketing is constantly changing. And I'm like, oh, this was basically a waste of time because it doesn't, it's one of these, like, just...
when dealing with newspaper ads, you're going to want to, and it's like, what?
Or,
why is there 3 chapters on newsprint ads?
Or just basic, nothing to do with modern age marketing, or at least not enough to do with it. So yeah, you have these mergers.
They didn't have any section on Instagram Reels or TikTok paid advertisements, and you're like, that's where people are making their money now.
Right. Well, that's funny because that's why you're starting to see these mergers, because we're actually seeing a decline an interest in going to college again, because a multitude of different reasons.
You can get all the information you need off social media.
Right. Rising prices. Rising prices is one of them, because we do have
Yeah,
these,
go figure that. That's not a surprise to me.
right. Well, it's the price of education is like far outpaced any other
Education.
inflation. Well, yeah, and education. Any other inflation out there anyway, and has for years.
Yeah.
The graphs on what that looks like is insane.
You need an education to read the graphs, though. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like, that's why they still get people with the college.
Sword.
It
Again,
is.
it's that that government-backed funding that
Yeah.
you can't ever get away from, that debt that's just stuck with you for life, unlike anything else.
Yeah, that boggles my mind.
Yeah,
Like, you can go take out a loan, start the dumbest business, tank it into the ground, lose all your money, and just be like, sorry guys, I effed up. And then they're like, all right, bankrupt.
I'll
And
give you a
then
little bit of
student loan,
pushback
they're
on
just like,
that. I'll give you pushback on that. You can't just go out and get a loan and start a business. Where when you're 18, you can just go sign
Yeah.
up for.
And I think that's the
100 grand
problem,
in
though.
debt. I think all the way around it's a problem, and I think that I think there's the two factions fighting each other for the wrong reasons. You've got like people that are like, oh, cancel all student debt. And it's like, well, all of it, like. Maybe not all of it. There should be reform, especially, when it comes to like interest rates and all of that. But then you've got the other side that's like, pull up your bootstraps. I didn't do it. Go get a job. You shouldn't have, shouldn't have got something for poli-science. And it's like, well, that's not the case either. I don't think that a lot of people that don't have student debt, I shouldn't say this. I think that there's a faction of people that don't have student debt that don't realize what it actually means as far as how long it stays with you. The interest rates compounding and all of that. Like, it's an issue. So you're seeing a drop in college rates, which I don't think is good, but the alternatives are great. You made a joke about social media, but there are places like Google and Facebook and all, and even other courses, Teachable and all of that offer these courses that you can go take that are directed education. To do what you want to do, because it pains me when I talk to someone and they're struggling in life and they're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to school. And I'm like, well, hold on,
why?
for what?
Yeah.
Like, just to do better.
It's going to show me my way.
Hold on, no, yeah. I'm a proponent of education, but I want to make sure that it's specific to what you want to do. You want to go learn to specifically code? Fine. You want to go in the medical field? Good. Like, things that will give you a benefit. But otherwise, you have these colleges out there that are specifically corporate money-making machines that are going to latch onto those, government-backed loans that you get, and you're going to, spend all this money getting the education that's not going to actually end up bringing you any money in, because it's not directed toward anything.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. Like, Lauren went back to school because she's like, I want to go do nursing. I went to nursing school, and it's very directed college, and then she comes out and you have all these job prospects, and it's like, that's a great move, and same thing like you said with other stuff too. I'm seeing this like how the music industry back in the turn of the century or the millennium. Turn of
1900
2000 streaming, back in the day, it's like you have to spend $20 on a compact disc. You only know there's one song you like, and you're stuck with 16 other songs. You're not sure if you like them or not, or you're gonna really listen to that CD, but you got to spend all that money for it, and then you buy all these other, and then streaming comes along and it's like a la carte. You can kind of go I'm really interested in that, I'm really interested in that, and just kind of pick and choose, and it ended up becoming cheaper. Right, because you can just buy per song, and you're not spending all that money. And now that's you just pay this fee. And I see education being like that with the directed schooling. So long I think people were just go to school and just get this whole well-rounded education. It's there's people that just suck at math, but they're amazing writers. Why would you make them take all of these math courses? Just because they're going to go into journalism or be a writer or something like that, or a copywriter, or content writer, you never know. And to me, I'm just it's a lot of times it's too much. I get having a good foundation, but then going off and doing this other stuff, I sometimes think focus on and just work on one thing, and look at one thing. And I'd like to see it changed to where, so many places are like, you need a 4-year degree. And it doesn't matter what it's in.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you need a 4-year degree to manage a retail store and you hang clothes.
I know an
and you do
engineer-
a schedule and you do payroll. Like, why do you need a 4-year degree to do that? And no, I'd be no disrespect for people with 4-year degrees or people who have that as a job. I'm just saying, like, if they were like, oh, you need a 4-year degree in like retail management, whatever, like if that was a thing, that makes sense. Like, just like, oh, you need a law degree to be a lawyer. But just this whole like requirement of just having it for why?
Right.
To show that you're in crippling debt and you're going to need that 401k because you don't got no other plan,
Shows how bad you need that job.
Bingo. Like sometimes I think that's it. Like, well, let's focus on the people that are going to want to stay here because they got that debt to pay down, Like, I don't know. It's just like, I would much prefer it to be like, hey, what interests you? You look at these child prodigies and they're like, oh, this kid is so good at painting because they just paint all day. They don't make them do all this other jazz, right? Or they play piano all day.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that a well-rounded education is important, and you should. I think math. I always get defensive over math because I think math helps you with problem solving.
yeah.
I know, like a few people that get defensive about math, right? But it helps.
Nerd.
It helps you with problem solving
The word right out of my mouth.
in other areas of life. I do think that well-rounded education is important, but doing it for the sake of just filling a quote, like, all right, you hit your 120 or 140
Yeah.
hours is silly to me. I know 2 people that are engineers in 2 different fields. One in the what do you call that? Defense industry, and he had his degree was in ag sciences, like agricultural, like not related at all.
Yeah.
And the other one is for electric grids, and his was in marketing.
Wow.
So it's like, you just had the degree to get through the door, and that's silly.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's changing. Again, you have these places like Google.
Gatekeeping.
For-
Y'all hate gatekeeping out there.
Right. For a while, Google has been no degree necessary.
Yeah.
So that, again, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get an education. I think education is important, but it's so abundant, and you can get it in so many different sources that I just want to make sure that people are getting it for the right reasons.
Well, and also know that there's a lot of education places out there that are absolutely predatory.
Oh,
And they have like no care in the world about
they're-
what you do when you leave, as long as that you're giving them their money and you're getting that debt.
and they're merging. You gotta enunciate better, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're merging to make sure that they continue to, keep getting.
I want to use that because that's a perfect segue. You like math. Are you up to date with the new math revelation out there right now?
Which?
The one. Are you familiar with the name Terrance Howard?
The actor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
What am I
Did you-
missing? What am I missing?
How have you not seen this? He went to Ethiopia recently to give like a presentation on like he's like cracked this code and he's gonna like change their whole economy with like I didn't understand what he was saying because it seemed like gibberish. I think the man's off his rocker, but I did start to peruse his like I don't want to. It's not like a dissertation, but like his
Manifest?
report, whatever that he wrote. 1 times 1 equals 2. He's out there saying all mathematicians are wrong. Now he went to school for engineering, didn't graduate, but he went to school for it. So he's out there saying all mathematicians are wrong, all history is wrong, and that 1 times 1 equals 2. And
So
he wrote
what's
this
one-
whole paper on it, and it reads absolutely ridiculously.
What's 1 times 100?
100.
But 1 times 1.
I didn't get that
Maybe
far in his
200.
paper. I didn't get that far in his paper.
I gotta look into this.
But I briefly looked into it because I'm like, oh, the actor from, that they booted off Iron Man and, replaced with Don Cheadle. Good move, obviously. But yeah, he's out there and he's talking about like these hydrogen like pairing bonds and like what caught my attention was that he's like in this country, Uganda, and he's like telling how he's gonna like.
Ethiopia.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I think
Uganda.
it's Uganda.
And
And-
new hydrogen technology.
New hydrogen technology that like he's promoting to them, and I'm like, I think this man is about to swindle an entire country. Honestly, like I think he's about because like they're like, oh, a rich American actor, he's got new hydrogen technology, and he's coming to us, not the rest of the world, and he's a mathematician with this newfound theory of 1 times 1 equals 2. Let's give him a shot.
Hustle and flow.
Hustle and flow.
He's pushing a proprietary drone technology known as linchpins that will help defend the nation, harvest food, and can remove plastics from the ocean. That can give the children of Uganda and the people of Uganda an opportunity to spread this and sell these products throughout the world.
That was a lot of buzzwords. He basically, so he says, I made a drone that's going to solve world hunger, pollution, and everything.
What a drone.
Yeah, I don't, but there's no information on what it does.
Yeah. Well,
There's like literally, I haven't found anything about like, here's what it looks like and this is how it does that. It's just like, I have this new hydrogen pairing technology.
you've got to leave some mystery.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah.
Is he though?
Right.
People laughed at Pythagoras. We laughing now?
Oh, man.
You have a point there. You do. You have a point there. And I'm no mathematician. I'm not a fan of math like you are. But there's like, and I can't remember the name, and I should have taken notes. Shame on me. But there's like a rule that like, or name for like why 1 times 1 or anything times 1 equals itself.
Right.
And I can't recall what that is. And he's basically saying like, oh, that's a lie. Yeah, reverse card.
No. Old Terrance How hit the reverse on it.
Yeah, so there's that. I encourage you guys to look it up because it was one of those things where I was reading it and I was
What
like,
do you
this
call
is...
someone from Uganda? Are they Ugandese?
I would say Ugandans.
Ugandans?
Why is that funny?
What do you call someone?
Ugandese. This sounds funny to me.
I mean, if someone who's... Yeah.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Whatever you're going to say, don't say it.
Sugandese.
So I got, yeah, that's, all right. He got it out. You feel better now?
I want to finish it so bad.
Yeah, we did.
I
Okay.
did. It's still
Well, I'm going to have to search this out. Give me your links that you've been reading.
No, just Google Terrance Howard and I guarantee it's going to pop up. Like,
I'll go it. Okay, because I want the real story.
Oh man, I put in Terrance Howard, and the first thing that came up was Terrance Howard math.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was the first
Yeah,
search. So.
yeah. It's a PDF that I downloaded and I started to read, and yeah, it was. I could understand it, so therefore I knew like this ain't real math, because I'm like I like all of this makes sense. And at one point did I go, what is that?
I don't know if I've talked about it on here before, and we can stop saying I'm a fan of math. But
You're a self-proclaimed fan of math, though.
you
Like
just
you said that yourself.
I said I was a fan.
Yeah, like that's.
Listen,
we're
once
just
it comes out of here, I don't know.
we're just
I'm
repeating
saying,
what you're saying.
I said I was defending math. Okay, right? Okay, yeah, right. Whatever. I'm fine. I'm a fan.
Are you saying we're
Anyway,
gaslighting you right now?
Yes. No.
Rewind it.
Yeah. I believe you.
I don't believe myself now.
But I will say this. When I help my kids with math, I think I've talked about this on air before, but I used to think, sorry, Mom and Dad, but when I was in school, I'm like, these idiots, they are dumb. Like, you don't know this math? I'm doing this math. I'm 12 years old. You don't know it? Like, I really thought, like, my parents were not very smart. Like, I knew they were smart, but I'm like, you got to be some kind of dumb because you don't know this math that I'm doing.
You don't even know polynomials.
Right. You're only saying that because you see RJ's post and you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know this.
Yeah, I
either.
guarantee you, like, yeah.
So-
I wouldn't be able to pass that GED test,
So-
probably.
so
I
why
wouldn't.
not?
So I see
Yeah.
someone who graduates with one, I'm like, bro, at
Right.
35 years old, power to you, because I know I would fail miserably.
Yeah. My kids will come home and, like, I can get it, but I don't want to have to go through the work to get to the point of, like, understanding again. That's hard for your brain, man. It is good for problem solving because it makes your brain work.
What do the teachers tell kids now about why they need to learn it? Because they can't use you won't have a calculator in your pocket
Right.
because
Right.
tricks on you.
Yeah.
We do. So like they must think of something else now.
Yeah, that's a good
Like
point.
what is their new like ruse, their lie that they tell the children to make like why you need to learn these?
I think they still use that one.
really.
Yeah, they're young. They're just trying to pull the wool on them.
No.
Oh, because they're like, you won't even know there's a calculator on your phone because you're on TikTok all the time.
Right, yeah.
You don't even know that app exists
Or they were
natively.
like, if you want to understand the algorithm, you better start.
Yeah. Oh,
doing
yeah.
your
There you
math
go.
now.
There you go. You want your views up and your clicks up.
But I feel like the kids are
Statistics would be that like
way more in tune with the algorithm than the teachers are.
probably,
So
probably.
the 10-year-old's like, I'm marketing on TikTok.
Right.
Math.
No, but
Yeah,
if you
I
wanna-
unbox toys for $5 million a year on YouTube. What do you do teacher.
Speaking of which, I got Alho-holics on there because it's hard to like figure out what the machine wants right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's not.
yeah.
You're posting photos. You're not getting the attention.
Yeah.
You know what they want.
Well, and that's on
They
Instagram
want reels?
right now. Yeah, but just the media type is the bare minimum of knowing what to do, what to put out, and when to put it out, and then going, am I doing this because I'm enjoying it, or just because I'm enjoying the dopamine hit of getting, the attention of views and likes? And so you're working so hard to figure out the algorithm, but you're missing the point of what makes you happy.
What
and
made
you're
social
doing.
media fun in the first
Right,
place,
right.
which was just fun connecting with people, not like, how do I get more?
So I think that's why Instagram ultimately took off, because Facebook and MySpace, even in the early days, it was just mainly just text, and you had limited characters and limited ways to interact. And so it was kind of fun because, if you look back, if you've been on social media for a while, you look back at 10, 12 years ago, the crap you were posting, it didn't even have to do with age. It just had to do with, like, we were just the age of social media.
I'll send you screenshots from like our comments on each other's
Right.
walls from 10 years ago, and not like reshare it and be like, can you believe we were?
Yeah.
What the heck were we even talking about?
Right, but it was just so stupid, lighthearted. It wasn't like...
It was fun.
Right, it was fun. And then you started to see Facebook, for me at least, and I'm going back 12 years ago, I was like, oh, this is starting to be less fun.
Yeah.
Because there's more characters people can post, and it's just like, all right, you're taking this way too serious. And so Instagram pops up, and it's just pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even, when Instagram started, you couldn't even upload a picture. You could only take a
Take
picture
it from the app.
with the app.
I forgot about that.
Right. And you couldn't even add, there was no captions, there was no commenting at first, it was just likes. There's no messaging. So little by little it started to change, and we changed with it, and I think eventually there's going to be something else that pops up, which was probably TikTok, right? TikTok pops up and goes, look, we're going to give people a curated dopamine hit based off of what they interact with, and push it that way. And then people start trying to figure out the algorithm there, and then Instagram and YouTube go,
Yeah.
we're not letting you get away with that. We're going to go reels and shorts. YouTube does shorts. Mm-hmm. And it's just this constant push. But, once you take a step back and look at it, you go, is this actually what I want or what I like? Or am I just doing this because this is what's expected right now?
Yeah, it sucks that happens too, because that immediately made me think of video games. Like Fortnite came out. I know that's somewhat of a segue. And it's like a battle royale style. And then like all of your first-person shooter games are like, oh, we're all battle royale now. Right. And like so many franchises that were good, just like in so many social media platforms that people liked for their reasons that they created and existed to begin with, like you were saying, are now just emulating this newcomer. Because they see the newcomer success, and like it sucks because that happens outside of social media. I've seen it like in video games and other stuff, and it's just like I just wanted this for what it was originally. I don't want you to be like a reskinned Fortnite or reskinned TikTok. Yeah. Like if I wanted those, I would buy those. I would subscribe to those, not yours. And it sucks because it's like I'm not a real maker. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, right? But like I can post a picture, and I like that, And so now it's just like, well, it is what it is, but it's not like I got any likes anyway, but still, it's one of those things. I would go on there now and it's just all videos, it's all reels, and it's just...
But this leaves the door open for a new innovation, right? In the next year to 2 to 3 years, something else will come along that everyone will ultimately copy in the long run. It's funny that you talked about the reskin stuff, because I really wasn't aware of that until, I don't know, a year or two ago. We have Xbox Live, at the house. And I have the package where you can just download games, but I just don't play. And I walked in and I was like, oh man, they got a Call of Duty game for free, or with the with this package. And I was like, cool, I'll download that. Let it get the download, and I open it up, and I was like, oh, this is Fortnite.
Yeah.
This isn't team kill respawn. This is this is.
It's not like the first person, like old school Halo or something like that.
But I think that then now this is going to, all the game makers have done this, and then you're going to have that one outsider that comes along and just makes something really good that people,
I think that's what sucks in social media, video games, and like other media as well is like so many there's so many content creators out there and like studios out there, and they're all just kind of like dogpiling on these trends, and I don't think there's enough people like actually kind of out going on the outskirts and trying something new. Right. It is always exciting when one of those
algorithm's just not pushing it.
Or you're right. I think that actually might be it more. It's just like, oh well, this is out of the bounds of what we think, what we know is trending, and so we're not going to let you know about it. It's just like my algorithm gets messed up all the time on Instagram, where it's just like I used to go on there and like it just could be random stuff, and like it can get so pigeonholed now where I'm like, dang. I like this content, but I don't want that to be all of the content I see.
Yeah.
Right.
So
mine's either mountains, motorcycles, or like shirtless dudes. I'm like, well, now I gotta go through like 200 more mountains, so I'm not seeing shirtless dudes. Because I will go through and I'll look for like new, like let me see a kettlebell exercise, right? So I'll look that up. Like, all right, cool, because try to switch things up. But then it's like, we know what you want, big guy. And it just pushes it through.
Wow.
Back when Instagram was a snitch and used to show everyone what you liked.
Yeah.
In case y'all remember that. Which
I do remember that.
They actually should bring back.
I liked that feature because like I never thought about it from like a nefarious standpoint, either like, oh, because it would just be like, oh, they have similar tastes, I like what they post. And I found a lot.
Is that girl single? Stop telling lies.
And I would be, and I found some really cool accounts that I still follow because like I would go to like someone I follow and be like, and I see stuff that they like. I'm like, oh, dang, that's cool as hell, And then I would just, see these new accounts. It was awesome.
I did like it too, and I think that there's like a level of accountability, that's important to have there. And I don't mean that just for like, oh, you shouldn't be liking, shirtless dudes, but that like
Katie's biggest argument.
Yeah, right. It's like when my parents came home and caught me watching Riverdance. My dad was like, what the heck, man? Anyway, Michael Flatley is a god, okay? I think that it was a neat option for a multitude of reasons. Finding other accounts was one of them. But I will say, I did get a screenshot from Mr. Screenshot himself, Zach Holzberg, years ago, and it's like, hey, why did you like all these shirtless dudes? And I'm like, again, it's their exercises.
It's a kettlebell exercise. Watch the video.
Swipe
to the second frame.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm sure
got some low-hanging kettlebells.
I get it. Ugandese. I get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Instagram and Meta, I got Billy Bodies up there.
Cool.
You'll see.
I would say cool.
Speaking of shirtless guys,
the whole algorithm was just a setup for Billy Bodies.
You seen Elon Musk with that Cybertruck body he's got?
Bro, he got that alien and that lives in the head and the Men in Black. Like he's got one of them or something. There.
Listen, I don't know. I go back and forth on these things because then you have Bezos, who's definitely juiced up.
Oh, absolutely. He got that HGH belly going on, big time.
How do you know about the HGH belly?
Shirtless dudes on Instagram, my dude.
He's shaped like someone drew it out. This is the design for the Cybertruck here.
Well, he looks as fake as his new wife does.
So he got a new wife,
girlfriend, whatever. I don't know.
Mama.
They have a child.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He got all the kids.
Yeah.
Jeffrey?
No. Oh, you're talking about.
I'm talking about Jeffrey.
I'm talking about Musk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, we were chatting in the group chat. We were saying that the billionaires need to have a body battle.
And
Bill
fight.
Gates,
Mortal Kombat.
Bezos.
Winner becomes richest, emperor of the world or something. I don't friggin' know.
They basically already.
I know that, but make them at least fight for it. Give the people what they want. Blood sport.
Right. If they're are any of them friends?
They've got-
Would you be
they've got
friends with
it all.
other billionaires?
That's the thing.
only,
It's like
that's the only person that you could possibly relate to at
Right.
that point, right?
I don't think
But
relating to
Bezos
people
and
is
Musk
on like a
don't like each
high
other.
like list of things that they want to do.
Fair. That's
Honestly,
fair too, yeah.
but what this is an aside, but like that picture of what's his name, the Facebook guy, the alien,
yeah, Zuckerberg.
yeah, with the white zinc sunscreen on his face. I'm like, that man is terrified of the aluminum, like, and it's got me thinking I need to stop using traditional sunscreen because I'm like, with all that money and knowledge he got, he knows something. He's like, I'm not gonna ruin my brain with this aluminum dioxide in the sunscreen.
Well, and when you saw that he had like tape over his like webcam on his laptop, and
Yeah,
like, "Yo,
yeah, I
what's
see
going
stuff
on
like
there?"
that, and I start to get worried. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's in that copper tone?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely concerning. Speaking of which,
And then Musk had it all over him because he was white as hell.
right?
That was zinc, right?
I think that's just his skin.
Yeah.
Not that we should be body shaming, but
Oh, that he was powder white.
or he's like reflecting the sun to I don't know. Yeah,
He's his own Tesla solar
Speaking
panel.
of aluminum,
Just put a couple solar arrays around him.
Right.
You charge that Tesla in
that's
no
what
time.
I'm saying. Skittles have like zinc dioxide or something dioxide. What is it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like in typical fashion, like it's they have amounts of a chemical that are banned in like all of Europe. But in here they continue to persist in like unhealthy amounts apparently, and it's just literally just to make them brighter. Like Americans can be so
Right.
dumb.
Yeah,
like
it has nothing
they
to do
won't
with
buy it if the
taste.
colors aren't bright. It's like,
Yeah.
what are we, bass?
Well,
Like, and then I think about it, and I'm like,
Yes.
shoot, between diamonds and like
yeah.
shiny cars and
For
Skittles,
sure.
they're like, it's got to be bright and shiny and colorful, and they will buy it. Those idiots. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it kills them.
if they would offer dye-free everything,
I'm
I
not
would-
gonna eat a dye-free Skittle, looking like little
Oh, I
like
would.
deer turds or something out there. Like,
would.
uh-uh.
I've had
Look like
you know,
owl scat, little white pellets. Uh-uh.
Just don't look at it. Why are you
scat.
looking at your food? I know
Why are you
don't.
looking at your
You
food?
inhale your food. You don't
Yeah,
look at your
because
food.
you never know when someone's gonna take it.
You think that you were like
In prison.
right. Again,
Anyway, I don't know. It's look how Clear Pepsi didn't do so well.
yeah. That's because it's Pepsi.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
saying.
a good point. It
For
didn't
me
know
personally,
Coca-Cola.
I'm not saying I think it would market well, but for me personally, I would do dye-free everything. Because imagine eating Skittles. You can walk around them in your hand, and you don't get them all dyed up.
Would you eat dye-free farm-raised salmon?
I do eat dye-free farm-raised salmon.
Is it just white?
No, it's just like not at all bright pink like the ones that are
Colored
actually
through feed?
colored. Yeah, yeah.
It's like Americans won't buy this if they don't. If
But,
it's
I mean-
not pink.
like I eat the fish that I catch. Like those aren't like any particular color that.
Yeah, but those aren't like pink in the wild though. Like that's the weird thing about like I think with Americans in food though, it's just like like salmon's pink. It's got to be pink. Skittles are colored.
But wild caught salmon is not that pink anyway.
Well, it's not that pink, but it's pink.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just saying it's weird. Like people expect things to be a certain color when they eat it, and therefore, like if it's not that color, I think that kind of like messes with people.
I don't think I
It's
should
weird
be
how your
used
senses all work together.
as the metric for what people would or would not eat. I'll throw that out.
I'll eat just about anything, so I kind of agree with you there.
Yeah.
I do like if it tastes the same, it tastes the same. Like the colorlessness will throw me off.
Speaking of the alcoholics and eating anything, you asked me before the show started. You're like, oh, do you actually eat the strawberries whole? Because I did the video where I'm like, hey, they're 99 cents. And obviously I do that because I know it's going to elicit a reaction. But yes, I do eat the strawberries whole because you can eat the leaves. But also, I'm a
it's a
food is
salad.
fuel type of person. Like,
food is fuel.
get it in. The less time I have to waste on, actually preparing it, especially like a strawberry. It's like, yeah, it's fine.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Only few people caught the strawberry.
I wonder what she's up to these days.
I hope she's doing
It's been a while since I've seen her Ultima.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, we had a local rapper named. It was Strawberry 352.
But on the YouTube video,
It was Strawberry. And it was. I'm not gonna lie.
the whole music video filmed in Ocala is great. You're like, I know where that apartment complex
You
is.
probably think I'm kidding, but the song kind of hit.
Yeah. She had a custom airbrush Ultima though too that you'd see around. Didn't have Skittles on it.
No, there was a Skittles.
There was another Skittles.
Hers
Okay.
is totally strawberry. So
Gotcha.
if we would have brought this up 3 or 5 years ago, 8 years ago,
It's got to be over a decade
tons
old
of people
now.
would have been like, "Oh yeah, I know that car."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Last time I saw it was like right on Camp too. Anyway, crap. What was I gonna say?
You're gonna talk about kiwis.
Oh yeah, like you're eating that strawberry whole. It's like so. Not too long ago, I come home and I see my wife just absolutely eating a kiwi like an apple.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with you? The hairy outside? She literally just looks at me. She goes, it's easier than cutting the skin off.
It really is.
She's a new mom, you know. I think she probably had the baby in her arm too. And at that point, I'm like, shit, I can't argue with that, you know. Like,
Football.
Yeah.
she got me to try it, and it's not as bad as you would think.
It's not.
Because I'm not too much of a texture person. With like, I will eat almost anything, but still, I was like, but that's kind of drawing a line there. But I tried it, and it's not half bad. It doesn't impart a taste. It's like much thinner than you would expect.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to me that I'm like, I can't believe you're doing that. I can't believe you're eating a kiwi whole, like an apple.
It's
Throw me off.
the same with the strawberries. The leaves are small. They don't taste bad. Like
Well, she also goes, oh, think about all the fiber. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that from a nutrition standpoint, you got me there.
But Sarah Miller did call me out. She goes, he's probably sitting in the Publix parking lot. I doubt those are even washed. And what's funny is I went to eat them, and I was like, they're not washed
Who
yet.
washes their fruit?
Oh,
You
please
just-
somebody wash your fruit. If you're buying it from the store,
Nah,
please
the
wash
fruit
your
gets
fruit.
washed.
Yeah.
It goes like this. Psst,
Yeah.
rinse, quick.
Yeah. If I'm
Does
like,
water touch it briefly?
if I-
Yes.
I
That's
wash
good
my
enough for
fruit
me. Like, I mean, if you're supposed to scrub it or
Yeah.
use a cleaner,
Kinda.
What?
I wash my fruit like I wash my hands. Like sometimes very
No.
in-depthly.
Yes.
Most times, if water touches it, shake it off. We're good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was like watching romaine last night, and it's just like rinse, a couple shakeouts, and like we're good. Because like, how is it? Like, am I supposed to pull each leaf and like rinse the folds and the
inside,
nooks?
yeah.
It's like no, a
Can
little
you not do those motions and while you're saying folds and nooks? Anyway,
giving a flashback to that garlic dip pizza crust.
I really am.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a throwback for those of you that been with us for a while.
I thought it was a callback.
Callback. It's called. Well, yeah, I guess it could be both.
Yeah, like
Anyway.
Johnny says, it does get rained on a couple times at Publix. That's good enough for me.
Man,
That's true.
Whoever decided to put thunderstorm sounds in the produce section of a supermarket,
great.
amazing. It's like
Why
Rainforest
even-
Cafe in there.
Yeah, why even go to the Rainforest Cafe? Just go to Publix.
He's like, do you want to buy an
I don't think they still do
overpriced
that,
microwave chicken sandwich? I don't know. I just imagine they'd microwave their stuff at Rainforest Cafe. It seems like the type of place where just like all the money you're spending here is literally going to the upkeep of this rainforest and these fake ass dinosaurs. It's not going to the food. Don't they have dinosaurs in Rainforest Cafe?
I remember like gorillas or
Yeah, I
something.
thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, gorillas, whatever.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. Tomato tomorrow.
I have seen those sketches. It's like where someone's like they'll show like a skeletal system of an animal.
Yeah.
And it's like here's the skeleton. Here's like
An artist rendition.
An artist rendition of what it could be, and then it's like this crazy looking animal, and then you see the it's like actual animal rabbit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, we really could. We're just making stuff up.
Yeah. Well, that's like the elephant skeleton. They're like, yeah, a lot of people believe that an elephant skull is the reason why like ancient Greeks thought there was Cyclops. Because like they just have this big hole in the front of their skeleton, like skull, that is like I think where the trunk connects. And so it's like when you take it all off, it doesn't look,
Yeah.
especially if it doesn't have big prominent tusks or like little tusks, it doesn't look like an elephant. You look at it and you're like, man, that's a Cyclops. So it makes sense. And you got to imagine like these ancient people, they dug up dinosaur bones, they dug up elephant
Right.
bones, and what the heck are they thinking exists?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
They're coming up with some wild stuff. Just
I,
like people did in the turn of the century with the dinosaurs that they drew out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think. Horses, they thought that there were unicorns because they have that hole, and then there's like, certain shells.
Well, there's rhinos exist and horses exist, so
Right. Well, or like one day when I woke up and I was like, wait a minute,
Do you know what an elephant
narwhals are
rhino?
real?
Yeah. Do you know what an elephant rhino mix is?
Elefino. Take it away from you. But yeah, no, coming to the realization that narwhals are real, but unicorns aren't.
Yeah.
Just seems.
And then you
strange.
find out that narwhal is not it's a tooth.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like a horn; it's a tooth. Like it's a tooth that grows out of their mouth through their like lip or something, and they like use it to like hunt. It's freaking wild.
Yeah, nature's weird.
Tell me about it.
I just did.
Yeah.
Actually, you should tell me about it because you're the nature guy.
Beluga whales are mermaids. That's it. That's like people be seeing these beluga whales and they go, "That's a lady."
I thought that was manatees.
Maybe I don't know. Like I would be more inclined to think a beluga whale is a woman than a manatee. I mean, but if like
that's because your head kind of looks like a beluga whale, so you can see that.
What's up, man? If I could echolocate sonar,
you've tried, right?
That was a New Year's resolution from a decade ago. That I just make my New Year's resolution every year. It's like, all right, one more year of unsuccessful echolocation.
Just start with clicking.
I do, but I can't get a uniform click. I need to get the clicker that the blind folks use.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
But they've successfully learned how to echolocate like bats, and it's amazing.
Keep your eyes closed for a couple months.
That's yeah, okay.
Can do.
Easy. Easy. Then I won't have to look at you idiots.
All right. Pick one of yours.
Just the US dollar is now more expensive than the euro. And that's the first time that's happened in what, 20 years now?
A while, for
Yeah.
sure. I started going through, I saw that meme. I think Dave shared it, Justin shared it.
It's called soccer now.
Yeah. It's called soccer now.
I just like, I've never been to Europe. I'd like to go. But sometimes, like, from someone who's never been, I'm like, y'all can be real smug. And, like, real smug. Like, I know America's not perfect.
No, we're definitely the smuggest, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that part of our smugness is me thinking they're more smug?
Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I just know I'm
But
smug.
I saw that and I was just like, ha!
Yeah.
That's what you get.
So you were smug about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Misery loves company because, we're not doing so hot over here either. So I think that was more of it. Like,
It made me feel good. So to explain, the meme said, the dollar is, or the euro's now 99 cents of the dollar. It's called soccer now, right? So that's how it started. So I was like, what? No way. So I start looking it up. And the dollar's doing pretty strong against the GBP, the like Icelandic krona, like almost everything out there. Obviously,
whose fault is this?
I don't really know. We're all dealing with inflation.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like,
tell me about it.
It's so America is so the world is so U.S. centric that of course if we're feeling it, other people are feeling this too. But that was a shocker to see how close it was in the currencies.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to take a European vacation, now is the time. It's like a 15 to 20% savings.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's wild.
But is the airfare gonna like make you lose all that savings, or is airfare?
I will say this. I bought my dad a ticket to go to Indiana like a year ago, and he wasn't able to make it. And when I bought the ticket, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna upgrade this to first class. I don't know if Dad's ever flown first class. It's just him. Like, let's do it this way. So it doesn't get to go, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I have the voucher. So I'm like, hey, Pops, don't forget, you got to go. And he's like, hey, there's a thing, family reunion up there. Cool. I'm gonna send you up. It was like $250 more on top of the voucher that I already had for first class to get him a coach ticket.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And is that like first tier coach or second tier coach or third tier coach?
This is Delta, so it's just economy. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those where it's like,
like there's
you
like
also have
super budget economy.
Yeah, I don't
economy
think he had to
plus.
pay. Yeah, I don't think he had to pay for his carry-on and his foot room. I don't think any of that. But I just couldn't believe that I had to add money onto this once first class ticket to get him an economy ticket.
You want to poop while you fly?
Yeah.
That's extra.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to put your feet on the floor? That's extra.
Yeah.
You want the emergency oxygen in case we crash? Also extra.
Listen, it's starting to get to the point where
they're going to start putting us in baggage claim. We so easily forgot that first bags on all carriers used to be free.
right,
First bags on all carriers used to be free. I want to say it again because it wasn't that long ago.
right.
And now it's just Southwest. You
Well-
know, but it's just like, and you charge for everything. And I'm like, dude, it's like they take it away.
It's feeling more and more like a like public transit. Anytime I've ever gone to the airport in the past, like however many years, that I'm ready for them to do those flights like Ryanair's talked about, where it's like
You just
we're
standing room only?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just put me in the baggage compartment. Like you're almost there anyway. We've talked about this. Like I'm 6'4". I don't fit in them seats.
stand up,
Yeah.
because we're getting to that point anyway. There's just I don't know. So I tell you that I don't really read the news, other than what I think is relative to the industry that we're in. But
Too busy reading about math.
no, what I
You're a
will
big
do,
math fan.
my guilty pleasure, I don't like seeing videos of fights. I just want to put that out there. If you see a fight, you should
He
do what
likes
you
seeing
can.
videos of people getting decked by Rogue tires.
Yes, I do.
I know that's real niche.
We'll save that, though. I don't like seeing videos of fights. I think if you see a fight, you should do what you can to stop it, right?
But yell World Star first and get a little bit of video of it.
But
And then stop it.
I may partake in watching fights at Disney World. I don't know why. Again, stop the fight if you see it, if you can. But like these like families, full on like large families fighting each other. And
What are they
almost
fighting about?
Almost every time, they're also wearing these stupid matching shirts.
Oh, it's gang mentality at that point.
The latest one. So
Gang
they're all
mentality.
wearing, it's like, Wilson Family Reunion. And each one of them has their name right on the shirt. So I'm like, Jerry, they gonna catch you. Like, you can leave the park now, but they know your first and last name. It's like completely matching.
What
Like,
are
how
families
can you-
fighting about at Disney World?
I don't know. The line in this one, I think. It was
You
like,
took the last $18 box of popcorn.
Yeah, I think this one was like a girl tried to catch back up with her family in the line, and they're like, not today.
You riding by yourself.
Right.
Those are the same
So-
people that like drive in both lanes when there's like a merge due to an accident.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one's going to merge safely
Right.
and in a uniform way. I'm going to slow traffic down and actually make
Yeah.
this even worse because I'm selfish.
Yes. So something like that, supposedly. I don't really know. But I mean, it's just an all-out brawl. And it happens like
I know what I'm Googling later.
more often than you would imagine. And it's wild to see. Like, first of all, you're supposed to be in the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
Second of all, you spent all that money.
And you're going to get arrested.
3 times as much as it was, 5 or 8 years ago to go to a ball game, a movie, or to Disney. You spent all that money,
Yeah.
and you're just getting in a fight. And you're probably going to
The Florida Heat's going to do that to you.
I think
Yeah,
this is
for
in
sure.
California.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think
That
actually a
smog
lot
will
of
do
them
it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of it is actually happening in California. I don't know how much happens here in Florida.
You don't think people get in fight at Disney in Florida?
I think that they do.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
I think that they do, but I will say I think crime is different in different states.
Yeah.
I think people think twice, a little more here than they do in other states. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's my guilty pleasure. I don't think it's good to watch. I don't think it's good to fight. I don't think it's good to record fights. But I may watch them when they pop up.
How did we go from airlines to Disney fights?
Because in my mind,
I
I'm
see a
just
lot
like-
of airline fights.
Yeah, it's
recently.
just fighting. Like every time I've been to the airport, almost literally every time, and it's been less.
I get
these
airport
past few
fights
years.
because there's nothing I want to do more than when I'm flying commercial than fight somebody.
When
Like
I
I'm just like I'm not in a good mood.
before
Like,
all the pandemic, I can tell you all the like horror stories. But the worst one that I ever had was when I got held and like searched, like majorly searched, at the airport, and I ran to my gate as they're closing the door. And I was like, "Whoa, one more."
it's
And I was
okay.
like,
I'm a limo driver.
Yeah. Like, una más, like just kidding around. And she just like slammed the door and goes, "Doors closed, no more." And I was
Boy, I
like,
would have drop kicked her.
like the rage
Yeah.
boiled instantly because I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, right.
And I just, so like in that moment I could go, "All right," but this is like, I don't know, man. It just seems so prevalent. And this is where I go, is this just because I'm seeing it more, or is there
Yeah.
actually
Just because you've seen it more. Because
more
it's,
people fighting?
the algorithm
at
is pushing fight
No,
videos.
I don't mean that. I mean just news stories in general.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see the stats on like major crime over the past 50 years is actually down.
huge decline.
Right, but we would all think like, oh, this is
Yeah,
happening
right.
more. But I want to know the stats on airport fights.
Yeah.
Have they actually gone up? Or
Yeah,
am I just
because
seeing
back in the
more?
day, like you just like drink your free liquor, smoke your cigarettes, kind of sit wherever you wanted to. You didn't have to show up all that early. They don't make you take your shoes off. Your bags didn't cost extra, and you probably had leg room in a table. Yeah, you take all that away, and it's just like you're cattle in a cattle car.
I think the key here is we got to bring smoking back to airplanes. Guys, thanks for joining us. It's good to be back. We'll see you next week.